life is like a journey, and the little train also takes you through that little journey. So you can get into your own dreamland. The first scale model train that I got was when I was just about 9 years old. So we walked into the store and my parents asked me to choose whatever I wanted, and I was a bit overwhelmed. So they suggested, why don't we go to the 4th floor where the trains are stopped? And that was my first exposure to scale model trains. So I decided to buy a train after the first train which I bought way back in 1964. It teaches me about eras in history. It tells you a little bit about mechanical engineering in those days, and it teaches me a lot of electronics because there are different circuits used, different types of decoders used, and different types of lights used. I have 49 plus trains now, and I have DC trains, which means direct current trains, and they draw 12 volts from their tracks, positive and negative. And I also have digital command control trains, which has a decoder inside the train, and that is controlled by a controller outside. And I have different lights in my trains. I have different types of sounds, chimes, whistles, chuffs. But I want to tell you, I spend a lot more time perhaps in preparing the train than actually running the train. I make the trains DCC from DC, and perhaps that takes me maximum amount of time. Of late, I've been spending some time on my layout. The layout is, gives you the skills of being a town planner, of course, in a very micro scale, and you can use your aesthetic sense about where should the buildings be, where should the station be, how should the lights be on the signal. A project has engineering, procurement and construction. So you need to first of all buy whatever you're going to buy for the project. You need to do the estimation correctly. Sometimes my wife controls my pocket money, so I need to see how much of money do I need or do I have for buying a particular locomotive. So that's the procurement part. Then I need to buy the various components if I want to make it from DC to DCC. So I need to see my budget. So I need to estimate correctly. I need to see where I need to buy it from, which vendor, is there a discount, and so on. Then comes the engineering part. I think through and I write it down on a piece of paper, what circuits go in and so on, what kind of lights should go in, what kind of chimes, whistles and so on. And then I do the construction, which is the execution. I take my soldering irons, I do the right polarity in the LEDs, I take the right resistor, I have flicker-free circuits and all that with capacitors, bridge rectifiers. So I plan all that. I sometimes don't stick absolutely to the prototypical model. You can be very, very creative in what you want to do. I mean, you can't make the locomotive look like an aeroplane, look odd, but you can do lots of stuff with the lights and the chimes and the sounds to make it look extremely attractive. There's a huge amount of creativity involved in this project, so you don't have to rush through everything. So it's taught me a lot of how to sit down in one place and concentrate and be extremely focused and cut out all the noise of life, all the distractions of life, which sometimes preoccupy you. So it leaves you very invigorated at the end of a day when you spent adequate amount of time on it.